This time I'd like to do a video about a very difficult topic, sexuality and even pedophilia. I just checked out on Wikipedia when the average age is of when the menstrual cycle starts, and it's around 12-13 years of age. Wikipedia now on the so-called menstrual cycle. Well, the menstrual cycle makes actually the sexual reproduction possible. When a woman has her menstruation period, she's naturally ready to bear children. And here in Wikipedia it is stated, a woman's first menstruation is termed menarche and occurs typically around the age of 12 to 13 years. This means that a girl actually can get babies at that age. Now this does not mean that she has to have sex by that age, but she's naturally ready to bear children. Well, according to Wikipedia, pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder in which an adult or an older adolescent experiences a primary or exclusive sexual attraction to prepubescent children, generally age 11 or younger. As a medical diagnosis, specific criteria for the disorder extends well. This is the official definition of pedophilia. Now the question here is, when do women and young men should start having sex? Should there be a law that forbids us to have sex until we're 16 or 18, or should this be a natural process? The menstrual cycle of a girl actually indicates that she is capable of carrying babies. Of course, I'm not saying that 13-year-olds or 12-year-olds are already capable of sex and everything's actually developed. I'm saying that we should actually put ourselves back and look at the biology of the female body and the male body. I personally, at the age of 18, 19, when I was in the army, in the German Bundeswehr, I was in the army for 1 year in 2003. I served at an officers' party. I had to serve the officers and their families, and there were young girls there. Well, in our eyes, they looked like women because they approached us and started talking to us, and we always gave them out because we weren't paid actually for that work. It was really below minimum wage actually. We worked the entire night for only like $5. So we all protested by drinking the vodka Smirnoff away and inviting these girls. But these girls really looked developed. They already had breasts, they already had a nice ass, they had a nice form, they were really talkative and nice, and we gave them the vodka Smirnoffs. Later at the night, apparently the mother of these girls came to us and they told us, you know that they are only 14 years of age. And we were of course shocked, yeah, because we believed that they were older. They were really well developed, and they were young women. But the difference now is if you have sex with a 14-year-old that is well developed, and the difference between this and if you're just yourself 17, 18 or 19, or the age difference is not that big, then it's actually okay. But the pedophiles in our society who have a lot of power have sex with 10 years old or 9 years old or 7 years old, and that is simply wrong because they're not developed, these young girls. They cannot even receive these men actually, and in the process they get damaged, and it's also painful. But it doesn't matter for these pedophiles because they want sex with these young girls, and they have become very powerful. Joris Stemming here in the Netherlands, as an example, was the finance minister and was a pedophile, a non-pedophile, and used his power to not punish pedophiles in general in the Netherlands. Well, Joris Stemming was actually a Secretary General of the Ministry of Justice in the Netherlands from 2002 to 2012. And he has been here in the news for pedophilia scandals. And he even has orgies and sex parties with children. He was Minister of I'm not finance minister, but justice minister or something like that. He had a very high position and could influence with his power, jurisstemming, to protect the pedophiles here in the Netherlands. But it's not only in the Netherlands, it's the same in Rothschild-controlled England. And the same in the United States. These Zaya crypto Jews who own us want this society to be rotten and promote this type of perversions and don't punish these people who actually damage our girls and boys. In the Third Reich they made a short process of it. They executed these people because in their eyes the children are the future of the folk or the future of the civilization. They're the most precious entities of a race. It's its children, or are their children. They represent the future, and that is why you have to teach these children to mold them practically in such a way that they will carry on the civilization and the folk and take care of the elderly. That's why Hitler also said during the Third Reich that we are not the true National Socialists back then. The children that come after us will be the true National Socialists because they will be living our vision of how a civilization should be and life should be. The Germans back then, during his reign, were happy. They were free from international financial Rothschild-controlled central banking. The Zionists, free from the Zionists. And they were undergoing a spiritual revolution. So, back to the topic of pedophilia. I think it should be punished. It should not be tolerated. And maybe if you know that death is not the end, that death literally is just the going over of the soul, the freeing of the soul of the body, and you know that death is not the end, then some people lose their chance in living in the society. You can't pardon these people who keep doing this over and over again and destroy our children in the process. Then put them on an island. Put all these people on an island and let them take care of each other. Or execute them. But you have to remove them from society because they are a threat to society. All criminals today are not being punished. They're just put in jail. And it costs money. We have to feed them. We have to take medical care. We have to take care of them. It all costs money. And for what? For them having committed crimes over and over again? Serial killers should also be executed. We have to free ourselves from this disease, actually. I am either for putting them all on an island like they did in Australia, really get rid of them from society, or if there's no other way and they have to live in our society and they keep doing and keep damaging us or keep attacking our children and keep destroying their psyche in the process or doing other crimes over and over again, then death is not the horrific end. Death is a normal punishment. That is why also euthanasia will be legalized in the new golden age. We will know that death is not the end. And if you let the soul suffer too much in the body, because the body is so damaged that it's actually torturing the soul, then you're not doing your duty to free that soul from its misery. And so it is with crimes like pedophilia or capital offenses. If people keep killing and killing and killing no matter what you do, put them 5 years in jail, 10 years in jail, and they come out and kill again, then you gotta get rid of them. Permanently. In the New Age we will revise this about the sexuality also, about the so-called at what age you should have or should be able to have sex. As a matter of fact, looking back at me, if I at 16 would have had a normal sex life already, responsibly, I wouldn't mind. It's a natural thing. I would have had a happier childhood or youth. My first sexual experience was at the age 19 and it was no fun. This should be different. If you want to raise the fertility rate of a people, then they have to be sexually mature to know when and where they want to have sex on their own. They should have the responsibility. And not telling us with the AIDS propaganda hoax, HIV is not the cause of AIDS, programming us over and over again that if you have any type of sex without a condom or whatever, you will have STDs, AIDS, and all other hell on earth. If a folk body is healthy, if there are no diseases, if you can cure all diseases, and having children is not a burden, then the folk should have its natural fertility rate and its natural rate of sexual encounters to keep its people going. That is why I believe in New Age we will have a totally different view on sexuality. More like the Kaiser era in Germany. There's a book, Sie schämten sich nicht, it's the entire history of Germany. Sexual history, but approximated according to real research. Hold on, if I find it, I'll show it to you. Es handelt zu Jochen Ferner und sie schämten sich nicht. It's a book about the sexual history of Germany. It's incredible how different it was back then. Well, Sie schämten sich nicht von Hans-Joachim Fernau. And it portrays during the Kaiser era in Germany, before the Christianization, I believe. I'm not really sure now. It was the entire history, even before the Christianization and after Christianization. Nevertheless, during the Kaiser era in Germany, there were lust gardens. People went there to have sex. And these lust gardens are named this way until today. There's a lust garden in Berlin, in every major German city. Why is it called lust garden? Because during the warmer times of the year, during the summer and spring, people went there and had fun. Lust garden. The lust garden or pleasure garden, well, the literally translation of lust is lust garden. A park on a museum island in central Berlin, while every major city has their own lust gardens. Sex. Just imagine about it. Just imagine how it could be. And it was before any type of STDs. And one day we will be able to heal all STDs. And we will have a more mature and relaxed way to handle our sexuality. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.